Are we live?
Everybody. It's Colossal Boxing Talk with another one of our hangouts. We haven't had one in a very long time, and I'm going to introduce myself right now. I'm John G. Uh, going down the line, fellas.
It's your boy Big Cool, CBT.
Your boy Bones, Kentucky in the building, you dig?
It's the homie Smooth Cat, also in the building.
And we back to JG. Go and start it off, JG. You had a lot on your mind, you know, regarding Gennady Golovkin. So, go and speak your piece about that.
All right. So I wrote an article. And I believe it was on was it the eve or the after July? Actually, it was on July 4th. I actually wrote it on July 4th morning. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I was totally sober when I wrote the article because, the night before it got a little crazy. But, actually, my thoughts they were totally sober, if that makes any type of sense. But I wrote some quotes that Golovkin had been quoted as saying from boxing scene. That, a couple of people had been posting a story on it. So I read it where it pretty much called out Carl Froch, Mayweather, Cotto, Canelo, those guys. And I took offense to it. So I pretty much wrote an opinion article based on those quotes, because as a Triple G fan, I looked at what he said. I thought it was very convenient that he named pretty much all of the money guys in sport in the one money fight that he's going to have, the super fight down the line with Andre Ward. So I thought it was pretty convenient, and I attacked those quotes. But I mean, his team came out and they said that things were false. So I'm cool, but I still stand by my principles that I don't think that Gennady Golovkin can say that anybody's using his name. He can't say that until he's actually done something. At this point, yes, he's an incredible fighter. He's on his way. His time is coming. But he ain't there now where he can say that people are using his name to gain publicity. I wasn't feeling that very much. And I'll let you guys pretty much go on what you thought as well.
Well, I'm gonna hop in real quick. You know, we don't want to say people name in a negative way because that's not our style. But I feel that we was going back and forth over an article like it was clearly stated. It was an opinion article. It wasn't really nothing bashing Gennady Golovkin. He was a terrific fighter. I mean, I've grown to become a fan of his, but just because you're a fan of someone doesn't mean you got to be one-sided and non-objective. And what we was trying to get Mike Lanang, whatever, if that's how you pronounce his name, to get was, we wasn't being biased or we wasn't attacking him. We was, more so JG because he wrote the article, but what I'm saying, him being a bro, I had his back. We was just attacking his quotes and how it doesn't always add up to everybody don't want to fight him, or everybody ducking him. But that can't be the case in every situation. Of course, there's fighters that don't want to fight him, but for you to keep harassing us on Facebook saying that uneducated and you just throwing out lies or whatnot was uncalled for. You know what I'm saying? JG clearly made it clear that as he finally read the quote or the article that said the rebuttal from Team Golovkin, and he said okay, he cool with that. But I mean, put it like this: we gonna be objective. We can be fans of whoever, but when it comes to being real, we gonna give it direct and uncut. I mean, you like it, you like it. You don't. I mean, you know what you can do. So pretty much, I stand by JG 100% on what he wrote. It was a good read, well written, and like you said, it was an opinion article. So there it is. Mouse, Blue Cat, y'all want to take it over from here?
Uh, um, I mean, I thought it was, my point is this, that I've been a Golovkin fan since the amateurs. Before people even got into this Golovkin train and the hype behind Golovkin, um, I was already a fan of his because of what he did in the amateurs. I'm still a fan of him. I think he's a tremendous fighter. You know what I mean? I think that he's good for the sport, and I mean, I like that after his fights, he's willing to call out the bigger names. But listen, this is boxing, man. Boxing is home of the most shadiest people in the world. You have the most corrupted people in boxing. I mean, this has been going on for years and generations. Since before our time, boxing has always been a shady sport. I don't believe Golovkin's team when they say, "Oh, he never said that." Yeah, I mean, because there's so much he said, she said bullshit that somewhere in between the middle of that he said and she said is some truth to what's really going on. There's a lot of people that have called out Golovkin, and you know, Bradley's been one, Laura's been one. When I hear a lot of people say, "Oh well, those are not big names," but Golovkin is trying to get a big name, which means he's not a big name either. You know what I mean? So I don't
Preach.
understand how can you be a picky, you know what I mean, when you got that big name to establish who you are. I mean, I think Laura's a pretty big name, so is Bradley. I may not win you, tons of millions of dollars, but I think that's the right way to go about it.
Yeah, I mean, you got. I mean, you make valid points. I mean, if you're gonna fight the best available, then why not? I wouldn't say fight Bradley. I wouldn't say that because I mean Bradley. I mean that's a tragedy waiting to happen. You
No,
know,
of course, but I mean, at least Bradley he would be the most solid opponent. I mean, although Bradley wants to do some, stupid shit and move up to 160, but I mean, Bradley probably has one of the most uh, legit resumes in boxing. If you can argue, he's probably in the top four of resumes in boxing. You know what I mean? Like the dude is like the guess who of boxing. Like I mean, the who's who of boxing. I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean his resume speaks for itself. So getting a name like a Bradley, just the name itself. I mean, Bradley's name alone weighs more than half of who Golovkin's fought in his career.
that's true. I mean that win a win over Golovkin. I mean a win over Bradley would. I mean you know I guess enhance Golovkin's resume tremendously. Whether we consider him a naturally smaller guy or not. I mean you never know. Bradley is a tough dude. I'm not saying he would beat him and if not even be competitive, but I mean he definitely would make it a good fight, and he would make Golovkin work for however long he had to in that fight. But like I said, the politics will always prevent fights like from Laura from happening and Quillen. But I'm I'm in the mindset of if you can get Mayweather Pacquiao done, I mean you can get Quillen and Golovkin done because money talk at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Cooler heads can prevail, and HBO would definitely welcome Al Heyman back if he was to say, you know what, I want my top guys facing HBO's top guys or whoever the promoter is top guys. So I mean the excuses are needing to come to an end right now because there's no need for uh, division among these top guys not fighting each other. There's only so long that Al Heyman can be able to protect his guys and kind of create those rerun matchups I be talking about. Um, excuse me, but Smooth Cat, go ahead. Shit,
What the overall thing is, what I'll say about Gennady Golovkin is
can't hear you, Mike.
he does need that marquee opponent. He definitely does, and he's doing what he can to do it. But I mean, as boxing fans, we can help him get that opponent the same way how we helped Austin Trout get Canelo Alvarez. Believe it or not, people say Canelo they were gonna fight each other anyways. Golden Boy was planning to go a different way,
Smooth Cat,
but yes,
Smooth Cat. Hey, I can't hear you. You got to speak up a little louder.
Yeah, I can't help him either.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, you might have to take the headphones out.
How do I sound now?
Still sound the same.
Sound low.
Hello?
Yeah,
Yeah,
better.
go, go, go.
Do it sound better?
Yeah,
Yeah,
much better.
Okay. Basically, what I'm saying is, I said Golovkin does need a marquee opponent for sure. And the thing with it is, we as boxing fans, we do see him against the other upper echelon fighters out there. We really do. But also as boxing fans, we can help him get these type of fights by pressuring these guys on social media the same way how social media basically, in my opinion, helped Austin Trout get Canelo Alvarez. I'm not saying that Canelo is afraid of Austin Trout by any means, but Golden Boy wasn't going to make that matchup. That matchup wasn't going to get made if it wasn't for Canelo seeing the outpour and how many people were saying, fight Trout, fight Trout. So with that being said, that's like now we got David Lemieux who's two weeks off of just winning the IBF championship, and the first thing you hear come from Golden Boy is, oh well, he needs to fight his mandatory. He doesn't even have a damn mandatory right now. So how does he need to fight a mandatory if there is nobody in particular who's mandatory? How does he need to fight a mandatory?
See, Goldie Oscar think he's slick. Oscar think he's slick and kind of weasel his way out of stuff. Just because you back up to a top rank, don't mean that you pulling that same stuff that Bob Arum used to do, and he's like just trying to keep the title in house. I understand you want to at least have your fighter defend it once, but don't tell me you want to give up Canelo to Golovkin in 2 or 3 years. But I mean, that's understandable. You want to wait, let that fight materialize. But why can't Lemieux fight Golovkin? Because you know why? Because Golovkin gonna take that title off of him as quick as he land one of them shots, and Oscar De La Hoya know that. You know what I'm saying? And he always talking about he want to make the best fights, which that's an exciting fight. I mean, it might not go in favor of your fighter, but
In my opinion, one of the most fan friendly fights that can be made in boxing today.
basically,
Because
go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, you know what? Mike touched on a very good point about Canelo. I mean, Smooth Cat touched on a very good point about Canelo and how Canelo is making fights. And, people pressured the Trout fight. You know what? I'm not so sure that people pressured as much as we think because, Canelo had the vendetta that gets Trout anyway. But to touch on something else, Canelo's a different breed than a lot of you guys. And see, this is where I want to see Golovkin step up. Because Canelo, at the table, Canelo makes concessions. Like, Canelo actually will agree to stuff that Oscar doesn't agree to. Because Canelo's a fighter. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, for Laura, for Mayweather, he came down to 152. Canelo's making these things happen more than his promoter is. What I want to see is, I want to see how much control Golovkin's team is. And I want to see Golovkin say, you know what? I got to have this fight happen. I need to bend this way. I need to bend this way. That's the only way he's going to get these big fights. That's the only way. But you can't. But his team can't lowball people. Or if they're the B side, they have to something with them for these things to happen. I mean, if Toto wins and Toto says you got to do this, you got to do that if you want that fight. I mean, I'm sorry, it's just the way it is. Toto's been around for a long time, making money. He's a big money guy. He's a top 3 money guy. So it is what it is. That's just the way it works. If you want it, you got to beat him, become a guy.
Mouse, jump in.
No, I agree with John with what John is saying. Like I think more fighters. I wish they would take that Canelo approach. Like it's funny because when you talk to Heyman fighters, they always give you the same answer. Oh well, we need to see where Heyman. We need to sit down and talk with Heyman and whatever our team wants to go. That's where we'll fight next. So like Canelo is exactly what John says. He'll make his own. You know what I mean? He'll make his own battles regardless of what Oscar says. So I mean, I don't know. The thing with Golovkin is just weird. Like I don't know. I even think Laura is a big fight for him. You know what I'm saying? Like at this point in time, I mean, you have to look at guys that maybe not give you the most money, but will give you some buzz going on. Because I mean, let's be honest. I mean, Yeah, he's fought some legit middleweights, but there ain't really been nobody that's been like that. You can honestly sit back and be like, yeah, he's gonna beat Golovkin. You know what I'm saying? Or oh, okay, he has a 50-50 chance of beating Golovkin. I mean, most of these guys, like you expected him to win. Yeah, I mean, although some of these guys like Gabe Rosado gave him a little bit more trouble and it took him a little bit longer, but he still dominated that fight. I just don't believe all the lies that are coming out from his team. Like, unless you're back there and you have worked in a corner or have worked with fighters and stuff like that, like, you don't know all the bullshit that comes from fighters and their teams. Like, sometimes it's not even the fighters, sometimes it's just the team. You know what I mean? Because you'll have certain trainers talk a lot of shit for their fighters, and their fighters may not be the ones saying it, but at the end of the day, man, sometimes you got to control your team too. And I don't think it's a coincidence that Andre Ward says, no, we tried to do something with them and they didn't want to do it. And Golovkin says, no, that's not true. We tried. It's a back and forth jumble all the time. Like, I think it's just, you have to take what you have, like, as far as names, regardless of the money. Like, go fight a Lara, who may be your most dangerous opponent right now. That's a fighter that a lot of fighters don't want to fight. So, I mean, why not take that fight?
True, and look, we should.
Go ahead, Big Cool.
It also goes back to when you remember JG when me and you interviewed Quillen. I don't know which time it was, but he also pointed out how I guess Team Loeffler and Golovkin them offering him like 500,000 for a fight or whatever it was when he was talking about like when he was the mandatory or trying to come up agree to a fight, and they offer him a low ball offer. He was like, why would I fight such a dangerous guy for $500,000? I mean. It's kind of it's holes in Golovkin's excuses or reasons why. I'm not saying he's ducking nobody because I don't believe he fears no man, but his team's not making anything easy either. I mean, we've
Right.
we've seen in history people fighters talk about each other all the time. I mean, but at the end of the day, if both guys want to fight, the fight will get done. You know what I'm saying? It might take a while, but or it might not take a long time at all. But if the fight get done, I mean, if the fight is wanted by both guys, then the fight will be made. But I mean, HBO got to stop, feeding into that Team Golovkin, and I mean, it's people out there cough up the money, man. I mean, if you want these fights to be made, I mean, offer these fighters something they can sleep well at night, knowing that okay, hey, I'm going into this tough fight, but I'm gonna get paid, well, and put on a good fight. But when you got fighters taking $250,000 to face Golovkin, I mean, I wouldn't be eager to fight him either for that much money, knowing the
I mean,
danger he possesses.
the fighters that he fought, the level, you know what I mean? Like, I can understand Quillen. But then again, I mean, who's to say that Quillen is really saying the truth on that either? You know what I'm saying? I mean, for all we know, Quillen could be just, because it's, the contract, the fighter doesn't see the contract first. You know what I'm saying? Like, it goes to your whole team. And if Heyman controls the whole team, Heyman is seeing the contract first. So I don't think that Heyman would allow anybody to lowball him like that and where it got to Quillen. But I do believe they tried to lowball Quillen. But I mean, a lot of these guys that Golovkin fought, I mean, really were just guys that were trying to get paid off of Golovkin. I mean, Curtis Stevens really was just trying to get paid. Rosado was just trying to get paid. You know what I mean? Like, those are guys that, I mean, let's be honest. I feel every boxer should get paid, but I mean, I don't think that Curtis Stevens is worth like $750,000 or $1 million, per spit fight.
I mean, at least 500,000. I mean, he been fighting a while. At least half a mil.
I'm saying, I mean, you could give them the half, but they're not worth. I mean, you know what I mean? Any more than that? I mean, these are like just prize fighters. They're not top of the. I don't know. I mean, it's difficult when it comes to who you gonna try. I mean, I don't think Golovkin is what I mean, like a $5 million fighter either. I think he's like a mil or two. Obviously, I'm not trying to fight him for a mil or two. I want to get paid because I mean the dude is coming with tremendous power. But I mean, he's not like he doesn't have a household name yet. I mean, people know Golovkin, yes. People love Golovkin because of the knockouts, yes. We all like entertaining fights, but I mean, until you get that big name or you establish yourself as, beating the top guys, I mean, I don't know. I look at it like this. This is my question for y'all. All right,
Okay.
you called out everybody at 160. There's either some excuse about the politics and the networks not wanting to work together. There's another excuse of the money, or just simply the other top guys at 160 or 154 don't want to fight you because to them you're nobody. You know what I mean? You're not big revenue for them. So
I risk it.
why not just move up to 168? And what if it's not a Carl Frock? Let's just say you move up to 168 and take a 168 fighter who's, I mean, you've been fighting 160 fighters that are not top guys anyway, so just take a 168 fighter who's heavier than you and, I mean, start seeing what you can do there.
That's a legitimate question. I mean, I said it. I didn't say it many times. One fight, we're not asking him to move up and forget about his goals as becoming the middleweight champion of the world. But I mean, like Paul Williams, not to compare Paul Williams and him because they're two different fighters, but guys like Canelo and Paul Williams that had that mentality, whether people want to give Canelo the credit or not, he will fight you. I mean, he'll come in at 152, like JG was saying earlier. He'll fight you on your terms, his terms, even terms, you know what I'm saying, HBO's terms, Showtime's terms. I mean, Paul Williams had to fluctuate from 147 to 160. I mean, and he probably would have went up to 168 if it was a shot up there for him. I mean, if somebody was willing to fight him. Golovkin, he has to just. I mean, he 33. I mean, he a fresh 33, but he did have like all them amateur fights, and that does take some out of you eventually when you start to accumulate fights as a pro and whatnot. But I mean, then you taking condition, you taking the point of training, sparring, and doing all the other stuff. So, I mean, he has to put his foot on the gas and accelerate this thing his way, and not being just a yes man and saying, oh well, Lawfully got me, whoever this mug, I can't pronounce his name is, but he don't got he really ain't got no chance to beat me. But it's a stay busy fight where you could just go up to 168 or 154 and face some of these guys in those divisions. So I mean, it's up to him, man. If he really want to become a legend of the sport or just be known as a knockout artist who had all the potential. Smooth cat, jump in.
Okay. Now this someone kind of want to touch on, so especially like with the situation about it's like his team say it's hard to get fights and things like that. Oh, I mean, the main thing with boxing nowadays, it's like it is a lot of excessive bullshit that shouldn't be that shouldn't happen, but it is what it is. So, I mean, with that being said,
Mike,
believe in the school approach. I know to the
Mike,
theatrics, but he's gonna have to get into the. Hello?
you breaking up, Mike?
Oh, okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but you like. Hey,
Okay.
JG, jump in real quick while Mike get it. You good, Mike?
Yeah.
All right, finish what you're saying.
Okay, like I said, Golovkin, he's not too much into the theatrics, but he's gonna have to get into them. Hell, I mean, what's wrong with going to? I mean, I know he goes to fights because he was at at Cotto Gill fight. I know he was there, but I mean, don't just sit in the crowd and smile, wave your hand. I mean, get up and go walk into the ring. I mean, get in his face and show him, like okay, you know what? I understand you want to do this, you want to do that, but you need to come through me. Even though Cotto's the champion, but tell me how much pressure would have put on Cotto going into that ring, getting in his face, and having the whole world buzzing about it? How much pressure would that put on Cotto? That would have put a shitload of pressure on him, right?
Yeah.
And also, that's like when Canelo and Cotto fight each other in November 21st. I think they said is the targeted date. But anyways, when that fight happens, As soon as that fight is over, whoever wins, Golovkin needs to go in the ring. I mean, don't get me wrong. Being a nice guy is fine. There's nothing wrong with being a nice guy. But in boxing, you get fucked over being a nice guy. So you definitely you have to take it to you have to step outside of your boundaries to
Yeah.
get the type of attention that you need to get.
Go ahead, Jay. I mean, go ahead, Mike. My fault. I was just none. Go ahead.
So so basically, what I'm saying is for Golovkin, you have to step out of your he have to step out of his normal zone and go to the next level, so he can get the type of fights that he wants to have. And kind of like Miles mentioned, if if nobody at 160 wants to come out and play with you, I'm not saying he has to, but 168 is an option. Hell, if you're not even comfortable going all the way to 168, you can hell get a particular 168 pounder. Tell him that's me at 165 with at a catch weight. I want to kind of get acclimated. I want to see how everything go. Do it that way, and then you'll see. I mean, and if you beat the guy convincingly, and what's the problem with moving up?
JG, JG gonna close out the whole Golovkin topic, and then we're gonna move on to Lundy-Herrera and Thurman Collazo.
Honestly, I gotta agree with everybody, and I'm gonna say it my own way though. But I mean, they cool. We talked about Paul Williams a while ago, but the person I'm gonna bring up is the guy that they said Golovkin, no, was ducking Golovkin, Sergio Martinez. He made his own way. He was a guy that nobody wanted to fight, and Paul Williams. We already talked about him. Winky Wright was another guy. But those guys made a way. They made, fights happen by going up. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody wants to fight you. What do? You fight the guys that nobody else wants to fight. So, I mean, and this isn't necessarily him moving up, but Laura's a guy that nobody really wants to fight. I mean, I didn't get a chance to touch on it earlier, but Laura and Bradley, even though I don't think either one of those guys beats Golovkin, they would still be the best opponent he's ever fought. They may not be the best matchup he's ever fought, but they'd be the best opponents with the better resumes that he's fought. See, nobody ever brings that up. And they have big names. So, I mean, I'm not necessarily saying that those have to happen, but something has to happen for Golovkin because, I mean, the time is ticking, and he's got to make something happen. Like, he has to look at his situation as himself, look in the mirror and say, you know what, if things are happening, I got to make something happen. Whether that means getting me a better team or telling my team, look, you guys, something needs to change because, I mean, around the weekend, that ain't going to happen. Like, honestly, still, I wonder if Canelo Cotto, what do you guys think is going to happen? If Floyd comes up and says, you know what, I need a 50 fight opponent, and do you really think they're going to sit there and honor that Golovkin? I got next thing, or are they going to go to Floyd?
They're gonna go to Floyd. I mean, Floyd and HBO gonna go to Floyd. I mean, or if he'll be a free agent then. So I mean, it's all about money and revenue to HBO and whatnot. I mean, it might not be the best fight between the winner of them, but it's gonna generate a lot of money. I mean, and people gonna want to see. Well, can these guys do better in a rematch with Floyd, especially if it's Canelo Alvarez? You know what I'm saying? Because he's improved.
Exactly.
He's improved so much.
And I don't even want to bring Floyd up, but I'm just saying right now, what are they setting up? They setting up guys who lost to him. Okay, they fighting for a rematch. That's what they could always say and spin that. And then Golovkin left with his dick in his hand again. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, at some point, you got to make something happen. And you got to have contingency plans. That's what your team is for.
Hey, last thing I'm gonna say. Sometimes it's better to let fights happen a little early, not too early, like oh boy, that fought Oscar De La Hoya and Vargas fighting Trinidad and De La Hoya, but I mean that Andre Ward fight is right there for the taking for Golovkin, and all he got to do is say let's do it. I mean, and the fight will be made like that. You know what I'm saying? Because they're saying Ward is talking about fighting Kovalev sometime next year. I mean, why can't that be Golovkin? I mean, you're not gonna lowball Ward and expect him to say, okay, you know what, I'll take that money. So I mean, there's fights out there to be made, man. Golovkin's just gonna have to be like Canelo. I want this fight. I want this fight, and that's the only fight I want. But on to the fights that's coming up this weekend. We got Hank Lundy taking on Mauricio Herrera in a intriguing fight. Both of these guys are rugged, very good boxers who've been, on the bad side of some decisions as of late or throughout their whole career. I'm gonna start off with Smooth Cat. What's your thoughts on this fight? Give a little quick breakdown of who and a prediction of who you see winning this fight and why.
Okay, with this fight thus far, this is a very interesting styles clash because you got Lundy, a guy who can box off his back foot. He also can get aggressive and walk you down. Then you got Herrera, who's a guy who also can box, and he also can get aggressive and smother you. So this fight, it depends because it's also a southpaw versus an orthodox fighter. So
Fam?
whichever one of these guys can get that lead foot on the outside, he's gonna have an early advantage. It's something that I'm kind of keying in on this fight. Now, the times I have seen Herrera in with a lot of slick boxers, he he had some trouble with a couple of guys who were slick. So basically, like with that, I mean, I'm wondering, is Herrera gonna come? Is he gonna try to make this a very ugly fight with Lundy, or is he gonna try to be more tactical? If he tries to be more tactical than Lundy, I think Lundy's gonna beat him up that way. But if he gets physical, Lundy, and they tussling, I mean, it's like exactly over. But yeah, I'm not gonna prolong this. I got Hank Lundy by split decision.
Oh man. This is a touchy subject, so I'm gonna
Lundy,
try to.
Hank Lundy be all right, man. Hank Lundy will be all right.
No, man, I don't really give a crap to say but some words. But what you call it? You know, everybody knows that. You know, I used to live in Pennsylvania and the Philly region. I know very well. Obviously, I trained out there and I worked out there, and I got some history with fighters in that area. So, sometimes us Philly fighters, we tend to clash with each other just on our past experiences. But man, you know what? When I think about Lundy, I, I, this is my thing with Lundy. I've always said Lundy was good but not great. Just for me personally, I just feel like he's always come up short. For whatever the case may be, doesn't matter what the excuse is, what it may be, whether he was robbed or not. I mean, some people will argue that. I mean, I just feel like every big shot that he's ever gotten, he's always come short. Or Lundy, Lundy got, in my opinion, more power than Herrera, but I think Herrera's the better boxer. Just because he's a little bit unorthodox, he's a little bit more slippery, more just like he's real weird to fight with. Um, Me personally, I just don't think at 140 Lundy is has a Herrera. Just nobody's really beaten Herrera except for Ruslan. I'm not saying his last name because I can't say it.
What's up, Nicole?
but but that's the only fighter I really thought that beat Herrera, even though it was scored a draw. Um, I think in his last
Herrera,
fight against what's up?
Herrera
What's
got
up,
the
Mike?
decision again.
Herrera got the decision.
Yeah.
All right, then my bad. I thought it was a draw, but I thought Ruslan won that fight. I know a lot of people will argue that he won that fight. But that was really the only fight that I seen Herrera have an issue with. I thought he beat Danny Garcia, although people will argue that he didn't. I thought he beat what was it, Benavidez?
He did. Jose
Yeah.
Benavidez.
You know what I mean? And I don't know. I just think at 140, Herrera's gonna beat him just on. I mean, deep down inside, I want Lundy to win because you know what I mean. That's Philly pride, and you know what I'm saying. I want to see our city come up, but I just think Herrera's boxing skills are a little bit better than Lundy's. Uh, I just Lundy's. I don't know. For me, I just don't think it's what is it? It's a Heyman card, right?
No, no, no. This is a golden boy. Neither one of these guys with Heyman. I think Herrera might be with Heyman,
I
but
thought it was Heyman.
no, Golden Boy. He with Herrera with Golden Boy, but I think he might be managed by Heyman. But this is a gold. No, he's not. He's not. This is a Golden Boy card.
All right then, yeah. I mean, don't be surprised if it's a draw, man. I mean, these guys both have had the only luck with draws and split decisions. So, I mean, my money's on Herrera. I'm gonna keep it short and simple. I'm not gonna win anymore. You know, my heart's with Lundy. I hope Lundy pulls it off for Philly, because I remember when the amateurs was over and back in years back on Lundy was considered to be the next greatest fighter out of Philadelphia, obviously after Hopkins and that generation. But I hope that he can get his shot now and put all that behind him and move forward. But I'm gonna say Herrera by split decision 12.
All right. This split so far. JG.
Honestly, like looking at both guys, I think that Herrera, between the two, the one strength that he has over Lundy is that he can out hustle him probably. Like that's the one thing that he does have that Lundy should be aware of is that the hustling ability. Herrera has that. Lundy, I think, is a sharper, crisper boxer. Both guys are rugged. Both guys are tough. Both guys really. See, the thing is, they lose a lot of those close decisions because there's something that they're not doing within the rounds, and it's like the other guy's scoring and they're not. So, me personally, I think that this fight's going to end in a draw. I think that there's going to be a lot of rounds where you don't know who to score for, and it's pretty much going to be just their luck. They think, okay, this is the fight where I can get back on track, and neither one of these guys gets back on track. And honestly, maybe this could be, I'm not going to say a fight of the year type candidate, but maybe this is the type where it sets up a synergy between two guys that, really aren't going to get a shot anywhere else. And they build some type of a rivalry. I could very well see that. Kind of like, I know Gotti. I know Gotti is a big name, but you know how Gotti and Wood was at the time.
Yeah.
Like where it was just those make up the best type of fights to me. And really, I could this has all over it to me where you telling somebody tune into HBO, whatever channel it's on. This fight's on. It's a pretty good fight, and maybe it can build their name that way by becoming rivals. But to me, I think it's going to be a draw. No, I think it's going to be a very good fight. Nobody probably gets a drop, but it's going to be a dog fight, and I see it being a draw.
Hey, I hope you're right about it being a fight of the year type candidate, or a Gotti War type fight. Because I haven't seen one of those in a minute. I'm pretty sure they out there, but like strictly watching HBO, PBC, and Showtime, I ain't really seen one of those fights. Well, I seen the Chris Ariola and the other guy, but enough about that. My prediction or my thoughts on the fight is that I like both of these guys. We interviewed them numerous times. Both are very likable guys. Lundy is more outspoken, Herrera is more laid back, reserved, but I see Lundy as being more athletic, quicker. I mean, the bigger puncher. Uh, one thing I can say, sometimes Lundy give off that vibe that it might be a little false confidence. Not saying that he doesn't have a lot of confidence in his abilities, but sometimes the way he talks is like he's trying to make himself believe that he's gonna do certain things in the ring when he kind of maybe doubts himself, like he did against Ray Beltran, where he was one fight away from going, being able to clinch that number one mandatory spot to go face Ricky Burns in England or Scotland, wherever it was at. And he had a mental lapse, and he allowed himself to be outworked against the ropes, outpunched, and he was upset against Beltran a few years back. He lost focus against John Molina. He got complacent, got caught on the ropes, and got knocked out. Whether you believe it's a questionable stoppage or not, it happened. The Delorme fight, I believe, after the knockdown, he bounced back and he really took the fight to Delorme, and I believe he won that fight. He looked impressive against the guy that gave Lucas Matisse hell in a fight that people were picking him to lose, and he completely dominated him. I don't know if he got the stoppage or not, but he was completely dominant in that fight. He showed flashes of brilliance at times, but he also, like I said, he showed those head scratching moments. As for Herrera's just man, his style is awkward. He's a crowder. He crowds you. He smothers your punches. I mean, he's not really a big. He doesn't have a big punch output. He doesn't do anything flashy, but he kind of got some bully and some dog that JG would like to usually say he got some dog in him. He'll push you back on the ropes, get a little dirty at times with you, and really outwork you. He got an underrated defense. He like bobs and weaves, in close. Has a good jab, and he's just really awkward. But with all that being said, I'm gonna go with damn, this is a hard fight to pick for real. I'm tempted to pick a draw, but I think Hank Lundy's gonna do what he has to do in a close fight. They're probably a call for a rematch. I mean, I wish both of these guys could walk out as the winner, because they both had some bad decisions go against them. But I'm gonna pick Hank Lundy by a razor thin uh, split decision. I think he's gonna do enough early in the fight. He gonna pull out the late rounds, being more active. I think he knows this is do or die for him. So I got Hank Lundy with me. A razor thin split decision to set up a rematch. I mean, down the line in a very good fight.
Herrera? I'm
Uh,
the you got Herrera.
yeah, I got no, I got Hank Lundy split
That's
decision.
what I'm saying. I'm the only one that got Herrera, right?
Yeah. Two
Yeah.
for Lundy, one a draw, and you for
I
Herrera.
give
So
Herrera wins. I'm coming for all three. Yeah. No, but
um, go ahead.
I just wanted to add one more thing before you finish up on Lundy.
All
I
right.
just want to say this to all the fighters out there, man. When somebody or if we on Facebook, Instagram, I don't care if we in the gym or whatever. If somebody tell you, you know what I mean, listen, you could have done this better, or you know what I'm saying, I seen it this way, or I disagree with this. I don't think it doesn't mean that they're hating on you or they're trying to diss you or anything. Don't always take shit so personal because not everybody has to be a fan of you. You know, I respect all fighters. You know what I mean, no matter what it is. I got history with some fighters, obviously more than others. But I don't ever disrespect no fighters, no matter what the case may be. But go ahead, big cool. You keep going.
Yeah, Miles Pace is saying stop being so damn sensitive. That's what he's saying, and I agree with him. I mean,
Hey, I agree with him 100%. Hey, and one more thing, fellas, since I'm gonna have to go for a little while, so I'm gonna throw my prediction out there for Thurman Colazo. I got one time fifth round KO.
I hope it's a first round KO, but shit,
I don't want the fight to be long
yeah,
because this a fight that I didn't want to see Thurman in, especially after he had been questioning a couple of people's resumes. This for
yeah.
damn sure is a fight I didn't want to see him in, but for whatever reason, as it was stated that this was the fight that he had to have, even though I call bullshit on that, but that's for another show. I hope I'm able to get back on. But I'm gonna try my best.
Hey, this is the Hal Heyman special for him. That's the off the menu fight right here. It's one of them. That's the Al Heyman special. But
All right, y'all.
all right, take it easy,
Hey,
man. Peace. JG, we're gonna let you get up in this one. 'Cause I know you got a lot to say about Thurman. Not nothing bad, but I know you got opinions on him, and I don't know what your thoughts on this fight is. So we're gonna let you open it up about this one.
Honestly, man, I really like Keith Thurman. I will say that I think that Keith Thurman does need to, I'm going to say, prove himself a little bit in this match. I mean, I don't really necessarily like this matchup too much, but what he has to season is he has to pretty much go out there and dismantle him straight up. And I mean, the thing is that after this fight, you can't fight no more Colazos. At this point, it just needs to be you need to fight the top level guys. Straight up. There's no more Colazos. Now is the time for Keith one time Thurman to be the number one guy in the division. So that means you need to be fighting Khan, Maidana, even though those guys, Porter. Like, I mean, your next three fights need to be guys like that. And I mean, I'm not saying they need to be guys like that, like I'm controlling or anything like that. But at this point, you're no longer a prospect. You're a champion, and you got to take on champion type opponents. That's how I feel. Collazo, that's a stern test. But to me, Collazo would have been good for you when, probably before Guerrero and not after Guerrero. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At this point, you have to view yourself as a champion. There's no more of these. No more. This is your last venue.
Yeah,
That's how I felt about it.
To piggyback off what you said and when you said not to be controlling, yeah. I mean, he don't need to be fighting nobody else like Collazo. That's the fans be like, damn, man, maybe he need a break. That's when I'm not saying we control his career, but when the fans really start to give you that approval, not that you so to speak need it, that's when you're like, okay, we can take the foot off the gas and give me a tune-up. But he need to be, I'm talking about next, like you said, 3 fights, next 4 or 5 fights. He need to be, I mean, he didn't feasted on a lot of these, I mean, past prime fighters and fighters that didn't ever have a chance long enough. I mean, no more Colazos. He need to go Porter, Khan, Maidana, Floyd, Alexander, hell, Broner. I mean, somebody that's young and that can give you a challenge. So, I mean, I definitely agree with you what you're saying. And I'm gonna go and get my prediction. I mean, I think I expect him to be dominant. He better be dominant, and for as much talking as he does. And like I said, we all big fans of Keith Thurman from CBT. But I mean, he needs to be impressive. He fight 20 minutes, or I think, so away from his hometown in Clearwater, Florida, and Tampa Bay. A lot of people gonna come out there to support him. I think he needs to show everything in this fight. I mean, to show that he's definitely the next guy in the welterweight division. But I predict him to get him out of there, man, in 2 or 3 rounds. I just think Keith gonna come out there, focus with bad intentions, and I don't think Collazo gonna be able to get out the way. But if Collazo can land that left hand, man, shit. I mean, Thurman does, come in. Sometimes he kind of lunges in. He can kind of be lazy, but he throw his shots and leave himself kind of squared up. So, I mean, he got to be aware of Collazo's timing ability, because we just seen a lot of upsets happen when we thought these KG veterans, didn't have a chance. So everything has to go perfect, or it's gonna be a laughing stock of boxing, really. Honestly, dude, he gonna pass Adrian Broner, and I never thought I'd say it off of one loss. He gonna surpass Broner just off of taking an L to Collazo. I mean,
I agree with that. I mean, people generally like one time though, so it may not be as bad as Broner.
I mean, one time been talking a lot of stuff, man, and you lose to Collazo, he ain't gonna never be able to say nothing about Khan. I don't care if Khan
I know, but Thurman's trash talk people like. You know what I'm saying? It's not like splashing money out the toilet or setting stuff on fire. And, he's not. He's still a likable guy, so it won't be as bad. Say he can come back from it.
Well, let me rephrase. Go ahead.
People want him to suffer. They want to see pain on his face. Nobody wants to see pain on one time's face.
Oh, but let me rephrase my question. Let me rephrase my statement. He won't be criticized in terms of being a person, like a bad person. But in terms of boxing, he gonna be right there. He gonna surpass Broner as being like, oh, he was a hype job. He was worse than Broner.
Like Amir Khan, pretty much. When he got knocked out by Garcia.
Yeah. It's gonna be worse than that though, because you don't lose to Collazo at this stage. I don't care who he beat, who he fought. You don't lose to Collazo. I mean, you might as well join Victor Ortiz if you lose to Collazo. I
My bad.
mean,
Go ahead, big
go ahead,
cool.
Mouse. Go ahead, take us out.
I agree with you like 150. I think that if you lose to, I mean, this is what I don't understand, and I'm not even a Broner fan, but I mean, Broner has two losses to Medina, who everybody argued that beat that in the first fight he beat Floyd,
Hmm.
um, and to Porter, who is another pretty big welterweight with some pop. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not like he lost to some. Yeah, I mean,
Bombs.
lower
Not
class fighters.
bombs.
You know what I'm saying? Like he lost to some legit fighters, and he has some. I mean, Broner has a pretty solid resume and some pretty solid wins. Yes, he's arrogant. Yes, he's a prick. Yes, he's unprofessional. Yes, he does a lot of dumb shit that we wish he would get his ass whipped for. But I mean, he's willing to take fights that are dangerous for him. I mean, honestly, I thought after the Medina fight, he should have just stayed at 140 for a while and let his body adjust to. Yeah, I mean, then again, he takes the Porter fight, and even though it's off by a couple pounds, you can see the difference in Broner and the, you know what I mean, the bigger guys. His power doesn't transcend so much into the bigger guys. But
I mean,
losing to Palazzo is like, man, you might as well just have Doink the Clown go in there and fucking, pin your ass because I'm sorry, bro. Keith Thurman, who's supposed to be like the next great star at welterweight, you know what I mean? And you lose to a old guy like Collazo, and sorry I'll say it like that, but you know what I mean? He's a veteran who, I mean, Keith Thurman's team always rags on Khan. They say that Khan is not a true welterweight, but you're fighting the dude that Khan dominated for 12 rounds. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, go ahead, be cool.
No, I was just saying pretty much. I mean, what you said. I mean, it's pretty much it. I mean, you can't dominate. I mean, you dogging Spence out. You dogging everybody. I mean, Chris Getty, if he lose, I mean, deactivate that Facebook. I mean, Twitter. I mean, you apologize to you apologize to all these people
He
for
gonna all of us.
if he can't be
Yo, if
Colazo.
he loses to Colazo, he'll be lucky if Spence take a fight with him.
Yep,
That's how I feel.
yep. If he lose to Colazo, he need to not Thurman. Chris Getty need to fly out to Dallas, Texas. Pay Errol Spence a visit. He need to be forced to spar him at least one round for talking all that shit about what was gonna happen to Spence, and you lost to Colazo. I mean, and then I guess we're gonna have Colazo and somebody else down the line. I don't know, man. I know this shit ain't gonna happen, man. I don't want it to happen at one time because I like one time, but if it does, I'm gonna. I mean, if it
Yeah,
does,
Thurman said, I don't even think it's gonna last 5 rounds, bro. I mean, I think 5 rounds is. I don't, man. Listen, Amir Khan dominated Collazo. It wasn't even a fight. That was pure destruction. Victor Ortiz is just a quitter. Yeah, I'm saying. I mean, there's nothing more to say about Collazo versus Ortiz besides the fact that Collazo gave him a weak power. I mean, a weak body shot that looked like Ortiz just fell down and was all dramatic about it. And yeah, I mean, not to take away from Collazo, but I mean, let's be honest about it. I mean, Ortiz's track record is not that. So it's, I mean, I don't understand why this was what they call his step up fight to get a big fight. I mean, I don't think Collazo is a name to get a big fight. I mean, not in this year. You know, they keep saying that they know what they're doing. Heyman knows, behind the scenes talk what they're doing. But Mayweather has already came out and said that he's not fighting him or Porter in September. That if they can want to fight, they have to fight Spence.
I mean, it just sometimes. I mean, if he don't fight another credible opponent after this fight, we gonna give him that GGG credit. I mean, John, I ain't speaking for you or making you do nothing, but I mean, John might have to get the article right on Thurman if he don't step up after this.
The thing is, I really like Thurman
I
too.
mean,
Like, I think
yeah, I mean, after after all the stuff he's been talking, I've been I got an 0-9 say to let it go and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know. It's something obviously behind it. Maybe he wants to fight guys and he holds them back. I don't know. Maybe they know something we don't know.
I mean, me and Smooth Cat interviewed him, man, and what he said, he didn't sound like Quillen when we asked him who he gonna fight. I mean, he said Al Heyman knows his heart or knows what he wants to do. I mean, but it always seemed like whenever you ask Thurman after he fighting somebody, you feel like, damn, you fighting him a couple years too late. It's always, well, yeah, it was him or this other opponent, and I chose the higher ranked dude. Man, show me who is Colossal ranked higher than that really, says he deserves a fight.
Yeah,
I mean,
I can't.
I mean, be honest. Is Colazo even ranked? What's his ranking on what?
he ain't ranked, man.
He was ranked, but he's not ranked no more after that drubbing he took last was it? Yeah, it was like last year.
I mean,
He was ranked.
I think
He's not ranked.
I remember. I remember a time. I remember when Porter destroyed Foley, and we kept calling for Porter versus Thurman,
mm-hmm.
and then Porter went and lost to Kelbrook. And then why not Thurman versus Brook? You know what I'm saying? I mean, that would have been a more legit fight. You know, a more credible fight. I think Thurman would beat Brook, to be honest. I mean, that's my opinion. You know, I
I
mean,
agree.
a way better fight than a Colossal. I mean, and Brook got a belt at that.
He
I
could
mean,
have fought. He could have fought Devin Alexander.
called out Mayweather for unification belt.
Oh, Mayweather ain't about to fight him.
Well, yeah, I know, but you know what I'm saying? It would have been more. He would have probably had a better shot at trying to get that fight. I mean, they say they know what they doing. Heyman say he know what he doing. Whatever. He a manager. He making money. He know what he doing. I guess. I don't see the logic in this fight at all. Besides another easy win for Thurman. That's just my opinion. I think this is like a fight that you give 13-0 prospect that has a hell of a good background, amateur background, and then you throw him a
Right.
good savvy veteran that is a solid veteran at welterweight, but your guy's gonna beat him. You know what I'm saying? Even if it goes 12 rounds and it looks kind of thing, your guy still gets that victory, and it's like that. Oh, he has a veteran name on his resume. This is not a fight that you give somebody who's already being, who's ranked and should be fighting the top 5 guys in his section.
Who's the WBA champion?
Yeah, this fight. I mean, not to beat on Thurman, man, but this fight is horrible, man. I mean, it's gonna be on ESPN. I mean,
He's back on ESPN when they call him the ESPN fighter. That's kind of I don't know. That's kind of ironic to me. But I'm gonna pose a question to you guys, right?
mhm.
So we're talking about the level of opponent Colazo is. And don't get me wrong. He's a solid veteran. But isn't this almost like this is the opponent you would give to him after he lost to Guerrero? Isn't it almost like
Yeah.
you're treating the Guerrero? They lost that fight and they're trying to get back on track.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you make a good point because people kind of started to say, well, in that fight late, whether it's difference of opinion, but Keith Thurman looked a little vulnerable. He was tired. That's what some people were saying. I mean, he
Is
showed.
he hurt?
I mean,
Or is he working on something? Like, I don't know. Like, it just you go from Guerrero to Colazo. You know what I'm saying? Like, is there something that we don't know, but they got to keep him active?
That is worse, in my opinion. I mean, I think at this point right now, at like this date today, I think Guerrero's a better opponent than Colazo by far. Maybe like a couple years back, I would not be saying that. But right now, in this time of day, I mean, it kind of. I agree with John what you're saying. It kind of looks like if he would have lost to Guerrero, this would have been the tune-up fight afterwards, not before. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if anything, it should have been flip-flop. It should have been Colazo first and then Guerrero.
yep. you got Bundu, Guerrero, Colazo, and then who you gonna get next? Who you gonna fight Porter next?
Hey, they gonna bring Ricky Hatton out of retirement.
Shit, nah, yeah, he good. He know better.
Well, I'll tell you what, your boy Schaefer, he's up this August, right? Schaefer will be back, right?
Yeah,
Maybe that's what they're waiting on, man. Maybe they're just dragging this out until Schaefer can come back, help Al Heyman make sense of all of this. And because honestly, I mean, people keep posing the question, but when Schaefer was a Golden Boy, dude, we had stacked cards on top of stacked cards. Like nobody wanted to watch Top Rank because Golden Boy had the stacked cards.
Yeah,
Really hasn't had like per se a stacked card. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's had decent fights. Don't get me wrong. We've gotten some really good fights. Like nobody would have expected Broner versus Porter. Let's be honest. I mean, I didn't see that shit coming from a mile away.
I
Yeah,
didn't.
but I mean, can we honestly say that Heyman has had a stacked card? I mean, in the Darrell fight versus um Miguel, I think that was the best fight that night. And I mean, after that was fucking Connor, whatever, versus the other, whatever his name is. And then it was Fortuna who looked bad. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't, it wasn't really a stacked card. I mean, there really hasn't been a really stacked card for Heyman.
That's what you get when you when you just fight in house, you get rerun fights, sorry cards, main events that don't even look like main events. You got main event fighters
I mean,
versus.
I'm okay. I like that he brought it back to TV. I'm okay with you having it on televised television and stuff like that. But you got some pretty elite fighters in your camp. I mean, if you can't, if you want it so you can have it on TV or whatever, then I wouldn't mind paying $20-$30 to watch a stacked card. You know what I'm saying? If that means that you have to go that route so we can get a good card, then so be it. Because I mean, what? I don't know. It's just, I mean, Top Rank, they got this thing where they give you one great fight and then a shitty undercard.
Barbarian
Yeah,
don't either.
but I'd rather pay $20 to see that great fight than watch three average fights for free.
Oh, but JG brought up a good point. Schaefer gonna come back and have them cards stacked. And it's gonna be
I forgot about Schaefer not being there.
yeah, it's gonna be a beautiful thing. Even though I think he should still be with Oscar, but hey, it is what it is. But like I said, I ain't gonna harp too much on Keith Thurman. Fighting, taking a step back against Colazo. Should got my Stephen A. Smith on.
Here's the thing though. I like Thurman. I think he's thing, but I think this is my thing. If he doesn't get either Porter
Peterson.
or Brooke after this fight, I want to hear Chris Getty on Facebook. I don't want to hear none of these Thurmanites or whatever they call themselves on Facebook. I want to hear even Keith Thurman. If you don't get Brooke, Porter, or or who the fuck was the other one that I said? Damn it!
Madonna, fucking Alexander, Peterson.
Don't give me Alexander. If you don't get Medina, Porter, Brooke, or fucking Khan, yeah,
Yeah,
or Spence, I don't want to hear no other guy. Those are the top guys right now in welterweight. You know what I'm saying? If you don't get one of those four guys, I don't want to hear shit from you, or what your team got to say, or whose jock strap is missing, or who's sitting on
yeah, yeah. You right. Pretty much. I ain't trying to check for no. Yeah, man. It's time to put up a shut up after Saturday night, man. I be feeling like they be wasting our time, wasting their time. I mean, we need these fights to start having all these dudes with Al Heyman, Golden Boy, or whatever you want to call Al Heyman. So there ain't no reason these fights shouldn't happen. And oh yeah, we can talk about. Who y'all got winning the opening bout of that Thurman Colossal fight? That's a card. Um, Tony Harrison from Detroit, rising junior middleweight versus the tall, lanky Willie Nelson, junior middleweight. I think they got a fight of the year written all over it.
That's the championship of the tournament, right?
No, no, no. That's not a championship. I think it might be an eliminator.
You know what? I've been lucky with going with Harrison. So I'm gonna stick with Harrison.
Yeah, I think he gonna. I think he gonna blast out Willie Nelson, but he gonna get challenged. I think he gonna win in round 7 to 8, round 7th or 8th round knockout. But Tony Harrison legit though. Mouse, who you think gonna win? Who you got winning that fight? Tony Harrison or Willie Nelson to open up the?
Ooh, oh, that's a good fight, man. That's my fight of the night. I think that's gonna be a really good fight, man. I don't know, man. I'm so split in the middle. I like Nelson too.
Yeah,
It's tough. That's a really tough fight for me.
yeah, it is a tough fight. But I'm going with Harrison by 7th to 8th round knockout.
Who's
I
John
think
going with?
JG he going with Harrison. JG, what you going? Decision knockout?
I'm going with decision.
Split
Unanimous
unanimous
decision.
unanimous decision. He said. Hey, but anything else y'all want to touch on real quick? I mean, you know,
Yeah, I want to touch on something real fast.
uh,
We keep talking all this trash about how Thurman's supposed to go out there and blast Collazo, but we did this the last time with Amir Khan in Algeria, and that ended up being a lot better fight than we thought. And it was a lot of credit went to Algeria for coming into the shape, new trainer. So you never know, man. Collazo might be listening to this right now. Probably not. Probably doing what he's supposed to be doing and resting and preparing the way he should. But I'm pretty sure Collazo knows that he's an opponent, and he probably has a lot to prove. So we never know, man. Don't be surprised if he come out here and he gives Thurman hell.
Yeah, but
yeah,
Chris Algieri is a way more fresher opponent than Collazo is, and I mean, real, realistically speaking here, I think a lot of what Chris Algieri did in that ring, you can contribute or attribute to what's his trainer's name?
John David Jackson.
John David Jackson, exactly. I think I mean John David Jackson really gave him a new look. And I mean Amir Khan doesn't really I mean, I saw Chris Algieri hurt Khan. You know what I'm saying? And Algieri's not even yeah, I mean he was fighting at 140, moved up to 47 to fight Khan and Pac and I mean, let's not forget that Algieri did go 12 rounds with Pac.
True.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he's a lot more fresher than Collazo is because I mean, it was just only 3 or 4 fights ago that nobody knew who Algieri was.
Yeah, true. So, like I said, it was a good fight. I wouldn't mind seeing a rematch with them too. But like I said, it's gonna be a good weekend of fights. Good luck and get you and your team get y'all stuff together. I mean, make a way to be great. And this is CBT. Sorry for the hiatus. No hangouts. And no interviews. Videos being sporadic, but we all got things going on. But we're gonna try to get back consistent with the videos. Um, in due time. Thanks for y'all support. Subscribe to the channel. Tell a friend and tell a friend and tell a friend to subscribe to Colossal Boxing Talks YouTube channel. Head over to Facebook, like our Facebook page. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Colossal CBT. And, just keep out on the look for new content. Got an interview with Brandon Rios this Thursday. It'll be posted sometime this week. Uh, any parting words you want to say, Miles, before we get out of here?
Um, I just want to give a shout out to Hank Lundy. I just want to wish him the best in this fight, and like I said, man, deep down in my heart, man, as a Philly fighter and being from that region, man, I hope that he can get this win for Philly. I know me and him, we got history and stuff like that, and nothing is ever personal. That's just Philly shit. But I just want to shout out Lundy, and I wish him the best in this fight.
All right, Lundy, you heard it from Mouse. He wish you the best. JG, any parting words?
No parting words, man. Let's just get it on these fights, man. It's been a drought so far. Lately. So hopefully we got some good stuff for the people.
Yeah, but Mike Laline, hopefully you like you appreciate the explanation. If not, we don't care. I mean, we stand by what we said, and Tell Golovkin we said hello. Until next time, we out. Peace.